Biodun Steven TV released a new movie, and it's a very interesting story. Madam Biodun, you did great with this one. It's about a girl who is opinionated, bold, and she tweets, okay? And her tweets are mainly controversial. But it's not really as if she's insulting anybody. She's just saying the truth, which everybody doesn't agree with. And it's okay to disagree with people. But as long as the person is not insulting anybody, okay? She was not dragging anybody. I don't see anything wrong with what she was posting. But then she fell in love with someone she met on the streets of Twitter, a Twitter boy. I think that was her biggest mistake. But this boy, he was decent, kind, and loving, full of surprises. What I don't know is why they kept telling us, oh, we've been talking for 2 months now. The relationship was too short. It was too short. Like, I understand that, okay, you propose to someone after 2 months of dating, okay? But then, why did you rush to get married immediately? Why not just wait a little more to understand each other better before marriage? But the major problem was that this boy's mom, Kyo's mom, the boy's name is Kyo. Kyo's mom doesn't like her because, according to her, she's too disrespectful, disrespects church leaders, will bring shame to the family, that people will be pointing at her and be saying, this so and so family's son came to marry her. I know, according to her, it's very disrespectful and distasteful. So right from beginning, she was not in support. So even after they got married and everything, she was still not in support. It now happened that Fufu got pregnant. The pregnancy was questionable because you guys just, met physically for the first time, and in less than 2 weeks, you're announcing pregnancy. So the woman doubted her, not just doubted her, the woman was hell bent on the fact that the baby is not for her son. But then I was thinking that the guy would have, been so sure because according to their report, the girl, her period just finished and she was still spotting even on their wedding day. So if she just finished her period, that means she wasn't pregnant. You should know that you're responsible for the child. But doubts got in the way and a lot of things happened. But then Fufu was actually not the bad girl that they thought she was. Because if she's a bad girl, first of all, she's going to block all of them and move on with her life. I know it's not easy, but she was still there. She still agreed to so many things that they said, and it was just heartbreaking. It was so emotional. If you've ever been pregnant, you will know what someone passes through during pregnancy. For you to be abandoned at such a time, yeah, this thing happens in our community. But then this issue of DNA, I remember that Fufu made a tweet in one of our tweets that if you're a guy asking for DNA test, it could probably be because you have something to hide. Maybe you're not, um, maybe you can't impregnate a woman. That's why you're surprised that your woman is pregnant. She made a lot of bold statements that when it was now her turn, she was not that as fierce as she was in her tweets. So that should also tell you that you listen to people online and you model your life based on the things advices you hear online. Just know that when he reach their turn, they don't go take them as they take tell you. People that will say if this one happen, leave your marriage. If you reach your turn, they don't go leave. If that one happen, break his head. If that one happen, pour him hot water. If you reach their turn, they don't go do them. So it's good to take counsel from people who are experienced, people who have been through things, and then people who are wise, not just some kids that are sitting down in their house and tweeting whatever it is that they feel they know. They are going to change their mind later on in life, but they're not going to tell you. It's the normal thing. There was sometime maybe 3 years ago, there was a soap I was posting on my Facebook that I said, "This is the best soap. This soap is a life saver." I was using that soap then, but it's been like 2 years since I stopped using that soap, and I didn't come back on social media to tell anybody that I'm no longer using this soap. So all the people that saw my post then, they will still assume that this is still the soap I use. Matter of fact, I don't like the soap anymore. So do you get? So people tell you things based on where they are at that moment in their lives. But when they change their mind later on, they will not come back to tell you. They're not going to come back to tell you. So it was a great movie. I love the way it ended. I love that the whole thing that happened, exposed the woman who was acting holier than thou. I actually started suspecting it after they did the first DNA test. I suspected that it's like this woman is not who she says she is. Oh, but I want you to go watch the movie so that you can see all of these things yourself. It's very interesting. A story that is real and emotional and educational at the same time, and is interesting and entertaining. Thank you, Madam Biodun, for this one. I saw at the end of the movie that you're the writer of the story, and all I can say is that you did great. Keep it up, ma'am.